to understand how child pornography is made and distributed and our government's efforts in investigation, arrest, conviction, and sentencing of those who engage in it, two issues must be understood. First is the constitutional issue of the First Amendment and freedom of expression. Second is technology. Taking the first, photographs of children in various stages of nudity, in some instances, may be pornographic and against the law, and in others, they may be interpreted as artistic. Unfortunately, in terms of First Amendment rights, this issue is not clearly defined. It was Justice Douglas who said, in regards to pornography, I don't always know what it is, but I can tell when I see it. In other words, there's no definition, but when I'm exposed to it, I know what it is. For our purposes, we are discussing and will analyze the child pornography business that is clearly not protected by the First Amendment rights of freedom of expression. In subsequent sessions, we will discuss our government's agencies in terms of monitoring, investigating, convicting, and then sentencing the child pornographer as well as the customers of child pornography in terms of pedophiles. The second focus is more perspicacious than case law, and that is the technology that has been used over the century to produce and distribute child pornography. We have gone from the photograph that was placed on tin during the Civil War to cameras where the image was placed on film. The problem with film in regards to pornographic material is that if you did not have a dark room or the knowledge to develop the film, then obviously this could not be used. From that, you could buy then in the 60s Polaroid cameras that when you took a picture, you would pull it out of the camera, lay it in your hand, and within 60 seconds, the film would be completely developed, and this includes color. This opened, I'm going to use the word floodgates, for child pornography as a business. Following the Polaroid were the handheld cameras or those that you placed on your shoulder. The images were placed on VCR cassettes, and I'm sure some of you now own video cameras where the image is placed on a micro cassette that fits in the palm of your hand. Think of how these inventions or developments in the image capturing business have changed access to child pornography. With the beginning of the internet, images are now streamed. We will discuss the importance of this in the section on the dark net. In today's marketplace, much of the child pornography production and distribution is through using webcams and distributing them through the streaming services, making them available to literally millions of customers. With the advent of the darknet, where a specific browser is used to find those hidden and secretive sites, you can now watch child pornography in various forms in the comfort and, more importantly, safety of your home on your computer. I want to share with you an interview I did in a federal prison several years ago with a man who was convicted of child pornography in terms of distribution and production, as well as other related crimes. He was doing quite a bit of time. He was 45 years old, owned a bar in a metropolitan area on the East Coast and was known by his customers as one who could access child pornography, and to a few customers he was known as one who also produced child pornography. Parents of children would come to him and discuss a contract to use their children as models. For $5,000, the child was brought to a predetermined place, and the photographer who was going to take the pictures, if the children were female, and most of them are in this business, there's not a great demand for boys or little boys. It is girls, especially twins, are very desirable. As I said, for $5,000, the parent would bring the child or children, and the person who was taking the photographs was homosexual. Why? Because this would assure that there was no sexual contact. In the photographic session, the children would be standing in front of, say, mirrors, and they would be taken off articles of clothing, and they would be captured in that process, all very innocent, but in various stages of nudity. After the session, there would be approximately 5,000 pictures that would be taken. Interestingly, before the session, the photographer would ask the parent, what would your child like as a gift at the end of the session? So when the little girl walked in, the gifts ranged, I was told, from tricycles to very expensive stereo systems that they knew was theirs at the end of the session. A phone call was made, in this case by the man I interviewed. A representative of the publishing industry would come. The pictures would be examined. He would choose approximately 250, 300. The remaining negatives were destroyed in front of them. They don't want competition. They would be placed in books, and then they would be distributed using underground bookstores, especially those stores that featured hardcore pornography. They would, as I was told, travel several times across the nation. They would begin in the East Coast, from my interview, go west, then from west come back east, then they would do the same circuit one more time, so that the books were available for approximately 6 to 8 years. As time expires, they become less desirable, and eventually they disappear from the stock. As you can imagine, the books may disappear, but the photographs never do. In terms of the children who are used as models, they will never know if these photographs are going to reappear at any point of their lives. This model has been replaced with access to streaming video that can be viewed in the privacy of your home. Using software specifically designed to find those hidden and secretive websites, you can now access literally hundreds of sites that make pornographic material available. The darknet where this occurs is discussed in depth in a subsequent session.